Hello, welcome to Oxford Community Television. I'm Terry Stiles. Some time ago, we created a show called Metaphysically Speaking. Show host is Marissa Ruska, sitting here in the studio today. Created the show to hopefully give people a platform to explore things that might be just beyond our normal scope of vision. Lately, there seems to be an overt curiosity about things or even the use of energies that we can't always see or easily explain. Over the course of the show, we would like to explore all sorts of supernatural possibilities, including energies in our lives, or that maybe we have guides to help us along, or spirits might exist among us, or even if there's really a heaven. And if you look around on the internet or on cable TV, you'll notice a growing interest in things that we cannot see or control. Clearly, these mysteries capture our attention. And personally, I've always been fascinated by supernatural possibilities, angels, spirits, energy, meditation, manifestations, and the like. So today, I've invited a special guest to the studio, Connie Smock. Thank you for being here. She's also known as Connie, the Warrior of Light, and she is an angel medium, spiritual teacher, and healer. She's here to help us explore the idea of breaking free from fear-based mindset and energetically attract the life that we really want, and hopefully to learn how she can help us do that. Thank you. Welcome back to the studio. This is part 2 because there's so much that Connie knows that can help us, I think, in our daily lives, really. Starting with, I have such a hard time with meditation. I know, let's talk about first the classes that you give, what your expertise is, and then we'll get into meditation.
Sure. Thank you for that. Thank you, Terry, for me being here. I love this. I love creating awareness. So
great.
So I have psychic mediumship courses where I teach people how to do this. Anyone can do it. People say, well, I'm not telepathic. You sure are. You just got to work it, right? Then there's an empath class that I'm actually teaching that's in person. And then there's, I'm trying to think of,
let's back up. Telepathic classes do what? What do they teach?
When I run the classes, it's a week-long course. It's a psychic medium mentorship program.
Okay.
And we start off by each day we work on a clair. So there's 4 primary ways of receiving information. So each one we will take and let's say clairaudience where it's all hearing. So we will do in the morning. We always do it's all through Zoom, and then we will do Qigong exercises or yoga. We clear the chakras, protect the energy field. I teach you all the ins and the outs about the spirit world, what energies are and how they affect you, how they can affect your connection. And then we go into hypnotherapy guided meditation to help unlock the subconscious, to help unlock those gifts every single day. So each clair has its own meditation to open up that gift safely, because you don't want to do it all at once, but it definitely does it safely. And then in the afternoon, we practice. So you give a reading and at least receive at least one reading every single day. So that trust that you were talking about in the first segment, it helps to develop trust. I actually received a text message from someone a couple of weeks ago and said, I can't believe this. I just delivered a message from someone on the other side, and thank you so much for giving me the tools to be able to trust that what I'm getting is information, and to be able to say it in a way that's that eases people and that will make it easy for the person who's delivering the message too. Because it's not easy saying, hey, I'm getting this information. I think it's from a loved one. What do I do with this, right? So when you know and you have a couple little techniques that can ease into it, then it can help it.
So you mentioned, so it's not scary.
So it's not
for both the giver and the receiver, I imagine. It's got to be scary to give the first message, to trust that you're giving the right message to somebody.
It is very scary. When I owned my own other business and when I was still in corporate, I was getting a message from one of the clients, and it was super scary because they were our largest client, and I could have lost the whole account.
Well, sure.
But his son kept telling me, do it. This is what you need to do, and I did. He said to bring one rose and a yellow rose. It was a yellow rose, very specific, a yellow rose. Wow. And so I went in there not, and I delivered the message. I was bawling. I was shaking. I was so afraid.
Yeah.
Because I could have lost our entire huge account that would have been detrimental to the business. But
that's trusting yourself.
it was trusting. But I said, I'm only going to deliver it if there's no one in his store. And I went to his place of business. And if there was a florist nearby, and there was a florist right on the corner. Wow. No one was in the store, and it was in a busy, it was in Birmingham or somewhere like that, in a busy store. Not one person was in there at the time I had gone in. And he actually hugged me, and he was grateful because he had just asked for a sign that his son was okay. And that's the first thing I said. He wants you to know he's okay.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, I was just like bawling. I still cry when I tell the whole story, so I won't tell it now. That's for another day. But it is a really cool story. But there was some significance with the yellow rose, and that's how he knew it was his son.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
You actually did that for me. So the morning before I went to your event, I thought, I haven't heard from my dad in a while, or I haven't felt him around, because I'll dream about my parents, and I know it's just comforting, it's whatever it is.
They're always in your dreams, yes. So
yes, and I haven't had a dream about him in a really long time. So you happened to walk in front of me, and you said his name and my brother's, and I had said to you, I hadn't felt my dad in a long time, and you said, did you just buy a purple top? Yep, yesterday. And you said, that's how you know he's around.
I love
that was pretty amazing.
Yeah, thank you for that, for the validation too.
Yeah.
That's called validating information. There's two types of information that they give. But there's a lot more but really when it boils down to it, there's really two types. There's validating, which is saying, hey, I'm watching you. I've never left you. Like, I love when they bring stuff up like that. They'll bring up some crazy stuff too.
Yeah, that was so random. Right. And he's been gone 38 years.
Interesting.
So random. Yeah.
And then there's the messages. So the fact that he was validating not one, he is watching what you're doing. He's never left you. But it's also it's validating, what you're doing, that he is still around you, and that he's never left you. And
makes you feel protected. Yeah, really, you're not out there by yourself.
Yeah,
absolutely. So there's clairaudient.
Yes.
There's clairsentient, which is
feeling, the empath.
Okay. There's fourth.
Yes, there's clairvoyance, which is all seeing. So, like I said, I can't physically see them. I think I said this in the first segment.
Yeah.
I can't physically see them in 3D. But I can see, sometimes they'll flash images in my mind's eye, but it's very faint. Anything that they give is like an impression. So when people think, sometimes I can hear full sentences, but usually it's like one word that fades in and out really fast, the clairaudient, and it feels like a whisper, and it's in my own voice, so I don't hear a male or female's voice. I have to feel if it's male or female. Clairvoyant, I will see images in my mind's eye, and then that's where I get it. So they'll flash in an image very briefly, though, and it's very faint. So sometimes I'm like, I'm not sure what that is. Can you run that past me again? Or I'll miss it, and they'll give it to me in another way. And then there's claircognizant, which is all-knowing. You don't really know why you know. You just know. That
thought is there, yeah.
It's just an all-knowing, yes.
So we have to take a break. I want to know about the classes and how people can take those classes. And even if they don't want to go out into the world and say, this is what I can do, how will that benefit their life?
Yeah, absolutely.
How will that enhance their life, which I know it will.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And then we will get into meditation.
Yes.
Eventually, and if not, that's all right, you can come back. But don't go
away.
Speaking of come back, we will be right back. Welcome back to Metaphysically Speaking. I'm Terry Stiles with a very special guest, Connie Smock. I'm having such a good time. I wish you were all here. It's good energy in here. We're having fun. We are talking about the classes that you give. How often do you give those? And then I'm going to get into that meditation. I'm probably making more of it than I should.
No, it's all good. No. So the classes that I run, the psychic mediumship course, a week-long one, I usually run those twice a year.
Okay.
And I'm running one, it probably won't air now, but at the March 23rd, towards the mid-March. The empath one is at the end of March at Red Lotus Yoga. That's the first time I've done something specific for, well, it's actually the second time for an empath class, but this one's going to have new information and some really cool stuff. And then I do spiritual growth courses here periodically, but not anything really significant. I've been doing that over the course of probably 15, 20 years.
And what does that entail?
All kinds of things. When I first started out back in my basement, like several years ago, like 15, 20 years ago, it would be about anything spiritual. It could be about what goddess is, because there's so many energies that we can actually use that people just aren't aware of. There's goddesses, there's different types of deities, and I believe in all of them. I believe in all the religions, that they all boil down to really the same thing. And to me, the more good energy I can have, I'll use them all. So we'll do that. We would do even things where we would go to different planets, and we would teleport and energetically go to different planets.
So is that astral traveling?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
that's interesting too. I've read a little bit about it, but that's another topic that we're going to have to explore for sure.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so the sky's the limit. We would practice mediumship. We would do all kinds of different things. The 7 sacred flames, those are great energies that you can use every single day of your life that will help increase your vibration, help you manifest things. And that's a great book. I think the resource is in the back of my book, but it's called The 7 Sacred Flames. It would be, besides my book, of course, I'm kidding. But that one, if you are going to get a book, The 7 Sacred Flames, amazing. I think if you go straight to the publishing company, I think it's MSL Publishing, I believe. Amazon has it, but it's a little bit more. But you're working with ascended masters and archangels that are all with these energies. We would talk about Lemuria and Atlantis, all these lost continents, and how, those type of civilizations, how they lived, just all kinds of different. There's so much to explore. Like there's
a universe out there.
Yes, there's a lot more than what we know and what we see.
And so many people I hear calling on archangels, archangels.
Yeah.
And I think it feels limited. It feels like there's way more than that. So it's good to hear. That's good to hear. Okay, let's get into meditation, just because I'm being selfish and I really want to learn how to do it, because I feel like you can get in touch with or help drive this bus better if we have more clarity in our own thinking. And somebody like me who's ADD has this radio half on and half off the station all the time. So does that help?
Absolutely.
And how to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. But do you really have ADD, or is it spirit? Because you're such an empath, you're probably picking up on so much energies that I'll tell you that most people, especially these kids nowadays, there's so many kids that can't concentrate because they're so intuitive, they're so empathic. That's part of it.
That's interesting.
Having these spiritual gifts, like I said, sometimes can feel like a curse. At the same time, meditation, I'll be honest, I as far as meditation, I have a really hard time with the thoughts coming in, and because I have spirit coming through, especially when I have events and people, like this week is really busy. So I was trying to meditate yesterday and all these things kept popping up. And protecting my energy field, I can protect it, but they aren't negative energies, right?
They're coming in, they're knocking on the door anyhow.
They still knock on the door, and you can still separate that. You don't have to connect with loved ones on the other side, but they know I do this for a living, so they don't take me seriously. I'll say, okay, you guys all need to go back to your place of rest until the person is in front of me. They'll leave for a little bit, and next thing you know, here it comes again. I'm like, I can feel you. I know you're here. Come on. I mean, I have
on me.
Exactly. I have no privacy.
So funny.
I'll be at a reading party, going to the bathroom, and they're still giving me information. I won't remember it, so you're gonna have to say it again, because once it comes in and out, I forget. So with meditation, that monkey mind that people talk about, I am probably the worst. So it might surprise people, even though I meditate routinely a lot, I still struggle with it. It takes me a good, I would say 5-10 minutes to actually quiet the mind and settle down to really get in that state. And there's different types of meditations that people can do too that will help. So if you have a hard time with yourself meditating, you can always do a guided meditation. Those are actually helpful because you're not relying on yourself, right? You're listening, and it's occupying that side of the mind that is that will help keep you focused. So those are always great techniques to do. Another technique is called the perfect 10. So if people struggle with meditation and you don't really want to listen to a guided meditation, but you want to learn how to stay focused, this is a great one. And what you do is you take a deep breath in, and breathing is very, very important for connecting with source. Because without the breath, if we shallow breathe, it makes it very difficult to connect. So you always want to make sure you're deep breathing. That's why exercise is so important for you. And 70% of your physical and emotional toxins are actually released out that deep exhale. So when you're taking that deep breath in and you're breathing in, you exhale, you're actually eliminating toxins that are stored in our body. So there's a lot with meditation when you incorporate that with the breathing that has so many benefits. Even if you do it for a minute, 5 minutes, it doesn't matter. 1 minute will help, even if you just do it for a minute. But the perfect 10 meditation is very helpful with the monkey mind. It helps to train it, and it gives you something to focus on, and you're breathing all at the same time. So if you take a deep breath in, count of 3, and then you exhale a count of 3, and while you're doing it, you start with 1 and go all the way to 10. So let's say I'm taking a deep breath in, I go 1, 1, 1. I'm thinking this in my mind. I exhale 1, 1, 1. Same thing with 2. Take that deep breath in, 2, 2, 2. Exhale 2, 2, 2. So I'm focusing on the number 2. The key is, if you think of something, and it's okay, you're going to have things pop in, but if you start trailing, like you said, oh, shoot, I forgot to let the dog out. I got to go get groceries today. You have to start back at 1.
Oh, you're training yourself now.
You're training yourself. Yes.
I love that.
That's why it's called the perfect 10, to get to 10. Usually, when I first start off, about 3. I get to 3. Then I get to 5, and then I'm good. And I can, once in a while, make it all the way to 10. So, yes. But that's a great
is there
way to train
a better time of day, or and that depends on the person?
It can depend on the person. Traditionally, usually the wee hours in the morning are the best to meditate, but some people find it the hardest to meditate because the veil is very thin. So between 4:30 and 6 in the morning, that's a great time. But usually when it's quiet, but I love the fact that you said, what about other people for their lifestyle? If your quiet time is at night and you have 15 minutes, that's your perfect time.
Okay.
That's perfect.
Okay, right.
And you can do it before you go to bed, in the morning when you wake up, or anytime. When I was 16 when I heard this. I heard a guy say every lunch, no matter what he would do, this is back, I'm not going to really out me, but 40 years ago, maybe, around there, when this was not, when this was not mainstream. People didn't talk about this. But he said in his lunchtime, he would go in the bathroom, and he worked for a factory like GM or Ford or something like that. A lot of people coming in and out. He would sit on the toilet and literally meditate for 10 minutes. And it was like, he said it was like sleeping for 8 hours. He was able to go back out and start again. I never forgot that. I'm like, the power of meditation when we quiet our mind and just do some deep breathing for even a minute has so many lasting benefits that people don't realize, especially accompanied with that deep breath. And the deep breath also takes us out of the sympathetic system. So when we are in fight or flight, I know as a single parent, I was in fight and flight constantly. I was running from one thing to the next, to this, to this, to this, like most people, especially nowadays, right?
Right. Yep.
So we're constantly stressing our adrenals, and the sympathetic system is running.
Yeah.
We need to take ourselves out of that, and that moving into the parasympathetic, which is rest and digest. We do that by that deep breathing and that meditation. You don't have to, even if you can just deep breathe, you're really busy. Anybody can find a minute, right? Anybody can, even if, and I'm not suggesting to meditate while you're driving, everyone, but if you're driving, do your deep breathing on the way to work.
Yep.
Takes 3 deep breaths, right?
Funny.
Set a thing. 3 times a day.
I have a sticker on my dashboard.
Perfect. Whatever works. Put
Yeah.
something on your phone.
Yeah,
It
right.
really is very, I can't say enough about that. If you do nothing else, the bare minimum, if you did that, your life will start to shift and change.
Love that. Stay
Yeah.
connected with yourself that way.
Yeah.
We have to take another break and then it's almost over. I
Aw.
hate this. So don't go away. We will be right back. Hello, welcome back to Metaphysically Speaking. I'm Terry Stiles with Connie Smock. Oh, our time has gone so quickly.
It does, yeah.
I've so enjoyed this. So one last thing I'd like to talk about is a spiritual mentorship. How do people get involved in that? How do you know if you need it? How do you find the right mentor?
Yeah.
How's that happen?
There's this famous saying that when the student is ready, the teacher shows up, right?
Oh, yeah.
So when you're
Love
ready,
that.
the people will show up in
Wow.
your life. Whether it's you see something on television or you hear a podcast or you somebody shares something with you, it'll resonate with you. And you know, I've had multiple mentors. I mean, obviously my mom was my biggest
So fortunate,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she was a huge mentor with spirit and guidance and all of that stuff. So again, I was very fortunate. I have had others who's been an influence, and some of them are actually in Oxford. Hannah over at Soothe Your Soul, what used to be.
Oh, isn't she lovely?
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Giving Tree Collection. She's a huge
yeah.
mentor. Diane, the angel lady in Metamora, Reverend Diane,
Oh, yeah,
is another one with the angels. So, you know, and I've had astrologers, Robert and Pamela Taylor, and Laura May, who's out in Nashville now. Like, and it's just like you might have some mentors that you'll stay with, and you're going to take bits and pieces from everyone too. And sometimes you might learn something from this one, and something different from this one, and something different from this one. It's just like taking a course or taking, you know, different types of certifications, which I have obviously, you know, certification ADD because I have a ton of them, but it's because too I'm a Sagittarius and I love learning, so I never want to stop learning. So with that, you gain all of this knowledge from all these different sources and all these different people. But the biggest thing is what resonates with you. Like
what you're ready to learn at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Where are you?
Uh-huh.
And just like in the physical world, everything pertains to the physical world as it does to the spirit world. So in the spirit world, when we talk about guides, you may have a guide that you first start off with. And same with mentorship.
You're reading my mind. That was my next question.
Well, maybe I should do this for a living. So yes.
I was just going to ask you that.
There you go. So in the spirit world, what happens is you have a life guide who's with you for life. You have fairies, one fairy who's with you for life. You have like, you know, one animal, one or two, three animal totems who are with you for life, and different archangels who are with you for life. But you have these guides that come and go. And if you think of it just like in school, and you start school and you go to kindergarten class, right? And after you graduate from there, most of the time, you go to first grade and you get a new teacher.
Right.
Once you get a teacher that specializes where you are in the moment, neither is better or worse than the other. It's what you need in this moment. Okay. When you graduate there, then you go to the next. You go to second grade and third grade and fourth.
Sure.
Same with the spirit world. You'll get constantly guides coming in. I've had so many different guides. Nice. But I do have some that have been with me for life, for sure.
And not necessarily a relative.
No, not necessarily a relative. So the thing about people who have, how about this? Sometimes a relative can have an agenda still, right? That's a whole nother segment, which we'll cover that.
Sure is.
Because yes, they're here to help you. Okay. Some, though, have their own agenda sometimes. So other than my mom, I've never connected with a loved one who's passed. I've connected with more sages, ascended masters, those type of guides.
And are you asking for them, or are they just saying, "Okay, my turn"? Hi, Connie.
when the student is ready, the teacher will show up.
Wow.
So yeah.
Okay.
So when I'm ready, they just give me, next thing you know, I'm like, oh wait, this feels like a different information. So, and you can do a meditation, just sit quietly, as much as you can, right? I know we talked about this, but, and take some deep breaths and make sure you protect yourself. Ask Archangel Michael to shield and protect, and only the highest of light beings in and around my energy field. All right. Who is my guide? And just ask, get a pencil. I get more information when if you'll notice at Clarkson, I had a pad of paper.
You did.
I do that with the readings, because where I write to is usually grouped where the loved ones, like all of this, even though they're coming through at different times, will be the dad who passed. This will be mom, this is grandma, this is grandpa. And they are really, it's just, wherever I'm guided, I write.
Yeah.
So get a pad, you can go to the dollar store and grab a pad of paper like that and a pen, and just start writing a journal, because you may feel like you're making it up. Good, that's where you're supposed to be. If you feel like you're using your imagination, you're right where you're supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
And I don't care if you get fluff ball or a cigarette or a pineapple, write it.
All right.
And we'll get to that in another segment of what that means. So that's
Figuring
a
out the
whole
symbols
thing. It can be symbols, but sometimes things haven't happened yet. And when you start keeping a journal of everything that you see, hear, and feel, you're going to start seeing things unfold. Like, oh my gosh, wait a minute, didn't I? Now this makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they do speak to me in symbols a lot, or even animal spirit guides. They'll do that a lot, because that's the easiest and quickest way for them to get their attention to you. So loved ones on the other side, yes, they can absolutely guide you. 100%. They do it in every single reading. They want to help you. But if you're looking for like really like guidance, you can call on your loved one on the other side. I just choose to work with these, and except for my mom, because my mom, this is what she did for a living. So
yeah. Right.
yeah, so it's a little different with that, but you can, and yes. So I guess I'm going back and forth.
Well,
but
so I often talk to my mom just for comfort.
yes,
Not that I feel her around every time I talk to her, but it makes me feel better.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that could be self medication, more or less. You know, just depending on your relatives that are gone, just to make yourself feel better.
100%.
Right?
And you can say, all right, Mom, I need to know you're still with me. What do I need to know today?
Interesting.
And just write
So I
down
hear
everything you see, hear,
people
and feel.
talk about cardinals and feathers, and they do send coins and feathers and
They
symbols.
send all kinds of information. They're going to be sending information to you intuitively. You're going to be seeing things with feathers, coins, birds, animals, and they can jump into animal souls. So if you see this strange deer, that all of a sudden you're like, why is this deer doing this? It's staring at me, and it's not even running, and all the rest of them are running, and it's just staring at you. I just had that happen just the other day, and it was literally walked right up. All the other ones were gone, and this one walked straight up off my balcony. I took a picture of it, and it was like right there. And it just kept looking up at me. And I was like, and this chipmunk, another one, came running around and was with this, and it stopped and looked. I put that one on my Facebook page.
So you feel a connection with that.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm not crazy.
Not crazy. They show up in a lot of different ways for you. Yeah.
Especially crows. I don't know.
Crows. Well, funny you should mention that. That's my mom's symbol. Whenever I know my mom's around, is a crow or a raven.
That just gave me the chills.
Me too. See how intuitive you are? This is proof. We're all intuitive.
Everybody.
See? Right?
Wow.
That's exactly.
Fun.
They work through people
chills all
too.
over.
I know. But they work through people to deliver messages. So the short answer, yes, your loved ones are absolutely here to comfort you. Yes, connect with them 100%. That's one of the main reasons why I teach mediumship. Just for me, when I want life guidance, I look to my life guides and my sages and my ascended masters for that. But to connect with loved ones, absolutely do it. You need to be doing that.
Beautiful.
100% to know that they're there and
You're
feel that
never
connection.
alone if you don't want to be.
Yeah, and they've never left you. They just don't have their physical body.
I love that.
They've never left you. And that's why I love when they give validating information about you just bought a purple shirt yesterday. The one lady in Clarkson, which I felt bad about, but I'm like, listen, were you just needing to buy a bra? But because it was so like, she's like, actually, yes. And she was actually, something about, she had it in her cart for Amazon. She had never pushed the button.
So be careful of what you do.
Yes.
Because they're with you.
Spirit may bring it up. Yes.
Connie,
yes.
thank you so much. It's been so fun. And she'll be
me
back.
too. Thank you.
I
Yes,
promise.
absolutely, for sure.
And thank you for watching.